many fans you in this year?
What is up, disc golfers, and welcome to the round 1 front 9 coverage from the Åland Open. Today we're going to be watching FPO round 1 feature card coverage provided by, of course, MDG Media. My name is Elias, Luukkonen, and I'll be providing you with the solo commentary today for this round 1 coverage. Let's get into it. Let's see who we got on the card today. Of course, very hot player right now, Silva Saarinen, leading the Euro Tour. Has already won multiple events this season. Arguably the hottest player in Europe. But here's a good challenger for her, Heidi Laine, coming straight off from her career best finish, second at the European Open. A lot of confidence on her right now. Third on the card, very solid player, Keiti Tätte from Estonia. Well-rounded game. She has a lot of potential to play well on this course. And rounding out the card, from the tournament main sponsor Discmania, Amanda Lennartsson. We have seen her already a couple of times this season, and very strong putter. If she can just get the throwing in the circle, she's gonna play super well. Starting the round on hole 1. Pretty short starting hole, only 75 meters. You're going over this bit of a ridgeline, so it's blind. You don't see the basket from the tee. It's pretty much a straight shot. You have to keep your shot over the high floor, but still under the low ceiling. Quite often we see people fading too far left. Silva here first going with a mid-range. A very good looking line. This needs to settle down though, as she's cruising past the basket, but that's a decent shot inside the circle. A very good chance for the birdie. Let's see if Heidi can match. Going with a very high shot. That looked like a bit of an early release, going super high and to the left. You can see on her reaction, she's not quite happy with that. This hole 1 is actually playing as the easiest hole on the course in round 1. And you can see why. Keiti almost acing it. Almost acing it at all. Almost also going to the left side OB. She stays safe though, fortunately. And Amanda, very good looking throw, but just does not quite get the flip up. And she goes for a quick layup here. No troubles to be had. It's a bit of a sloping green. For example, Heidi here probably not going to be running it, as she's not. Sloping slightly towards the left side OB. Keiti here with a good run from outside the circle. Not quite to be on the first hole though. And Silva here on the outer edge of circle 1, making a great putt on hole 1. Wow. What a cold putt there. Well done. One thing that has been very impressive and will be very impressive in the future is Silva Saarinen's putting. You know, she's always been a great putter, but this season I feel like she's even elevated her game as far as putting, as far as driving as well. So we see 3 pars from the rest of the card, and Silva with a birdie here. on the easiest hole on the course, hole 1. Moving on to another hole that is not super difficult, more towards the middle difficulty on this course. Hole 2, par 3. A short one again, just 86 meters. It's shaping towards the left the whole way. You have a bit of a low ceiling again. Most players are trying to throw a backhand hyzer with a relatively stable disc. You want some glide and skip to the left. Also, this green is a little bit treacherous, as the left side offers a drop-off towards a creek. There's no OB, but you're easily rolling to 7 meters if you go past the basket. We saw Silva there with a bit of an early release, and Amanda going for a huge skip. But she's got it on the ground a little bit early. Gonna have pretty easy approach from there, but pretty much no chance for birdie. Heidi also going with a skip. You can see the hole is bending pretty severely to the left. All of the players going for a steep hyzer angle. Not a very easy hole to park, but also not a very easy hole to bogey, as we see 4 pretty normal drives here. Nobody really in range for the birdie, but even Heidi being the furthest one out, still within jump putt range, just to approach for the par. Silva going with a bit of a soft toss. Gonna have still some work left to do for the par, although I'm sure it's probably not gonna be a problem. Keiti here just laying up under the basket. This hole was actually mostly parred by the field, 69% of the field getting a par, and only 6% birdie, as Silva makes a good putt there. It looks like we might have missed Amanda's approach, as she's usually a pretty quick player. So, looks like we're gonna have a par frame on this hole too. No surprises here. It's a very hard hole to birdie, but the par is relatively easy. Next up, the first par 4 on the course, hole 3, only 140 meters. So very short par 4. Off the tee you have a choice. You can either take this straight route that the drone is taking, or you can go for the outside hyzer to the right of these trees. No matter which route you take, you want to land around here. Ideally to this left side short fairway. If you push too far off the drive, you also have a secondary fairway more towards the far side of the landing zone. No matter what you do on the drive, you usually have a left to right moving approach shot. The green is also sloping from right to left and behind the basket, so many people trying to throw a turnover or a forehand on the approach. But the drive is really important. You need to set yourself up, be in the good position, which looks like Silva is doing just perfectly. Alright, maybe not perfectly, that is a very good shot, but as you said, Silva has pushed a little bit past the first fairway, so she might have difficulties with having a good angle to the green, even though she hit the fairway just perfect. And Amanda there showing the hyzer out. I think she got caught up in one of the right side trees. Looks like that's what Heidi is going as well. Very good shot. Heidi was able to keep her shot short enough where she's gonna have that short side fairway on the approach available. Keiti with a penetrating drive there. Very good line. But she's once again pushed a little bit past the ideal landing zone. Gonna have to throw some sort of a tricky approach from there, I would think. As we see Amanda scrambling a little bit. Couldn't really see where that ended up, but I believe it went towards the fairway. Here Heidi. Tricky shot. She has a good angle, but pretty far distance to the green. She has to flip it up down the left side. Not exactly down the left side, but that works out. She's on the edge of the circle there. It's a pretty scary putt though with that slopey green. And you can see Keiti here is going for the optional second fairway down the further side of the landing zone. And I believe Silva will also have to go for that, since she has a bit of an awkward angle. That's a good looking shot though. Wow. What a shot from Silva. Getting it well within putting distance with that tough angle. And this is where Amanda ended up. Perfectly on the second fairway. Just needs to miss some trees at the end. And she's done it. What a perfect approach there. Gonna have an easy time getting up and down for the par, which is great from where her drive was. And Keiti here playing the conventional forehand on this hole. Forehands usually settle nicely down next to the basket if you just fade it out to the right. And Heidi here from circle 2. This was another rarely birdied hole, only 13% of the field getting a birdie. Heidi is not going to be one of them, but par is just completely fine, as this hole was playing well above par in average. Silva not wanting to settle for the par, and she has a hot start, 2 under through 3. I would bet that's probably the best start of the field. It's really hard to get all 3 of these first 3 holes. As looks like we're gonna have a similar result as on hole 1, where Silva is gonna have the only birdie. Everybody else with their good pars. I'd say good pars. Nobody really had super big troubles on this one. Walking down the hill to the hole 4. This is a tricky one. It's only 77 meters, but playing super uphill. This hole has to be at least 10 meters uphill. It's the shape is mostly straight with just the tiny left finish at the end. The hole is very convincing or confusing for some people. Many people think that it's a hyzer shot, but in reality it's just a straight shot that fades a little bit at the end. And a distance of 77 meters, playing very far, closer to 100 with this sloped, uphill sloped fairway. Silva there, doing a good job at keeping the height pretty low compared to the hillside. So she's gonna be just outside the circle. Amanda trying to do the same, just not getting over the hill. Hopefully she stayed on the fairway to have a decent approach to the green. And Heidi kind of doing the opposite. You can see that disc becoming nose up and just kind of stalling out at the end. It's really important to do what Silva did on this hole, to keep it low compared to the hillside. Then you're gonna get the distance more likely to the green. And Keiti with a better looking height here. Just a little bit soft there. Gonna be in circle 2. As I said, it's playing very far. This hole is almost kind of like a distance separator for a lot of the field. It really shows whether you're comfortable throwing hard uphill with any driver and Wow, Heidi almost making that. We saw a good approach from Amanda. Gonna have another one of those easy pars. And Keiti here also in the bullseye for the par. Let's see if Silva can get this difficult kneeling putt from circle 2. And she does. Very impressive putt there. Catching on the high left side. And continuing the absolute hot start that she's having right now. Showing off why she already has multiple wins in Europe this year. This hole was one of the more higher level tournaments in Europe though, so win on this event is going to be very difficult for any player. Moving on to hole 5. Par 4, 160 meters, going gradually uphill the whole way. Off the drive you want something straight, maybe turning just slightly to the right to hopefully give yourself some sort of an angle to attack this green. The green, or the approach to the green, really shapes the best for a forehand. So if you have a great forehand, you have a huge advantage on this hole. Many players that don't have a great forehand are trying to play their drive to the perfect spot and then just throw a backhand to about 15 meters on the left side of the basket. So it looks like Silva has thrown an absolute gem of a shot. What a beautiful throw there. That's in the perfect position. Amanda here kind of pulling it to the right. That is going to be very difficult from there. This hole once again not a very long par 4, but playing pretty far with that uphill slope. So important to get some good distance off the tee. And Heidi has not gotten good distance. She has kicked way to the left. Gonna have to scramble from there. And Keiti also kind of pulling to the right, but gets a great kick to the middle of the fairway. It looks like Heidi actually does have a good angle from here. Just no run up. Needs to keep it straight. Maybe hit a tree here before fading to the woods. Doesn't quite do it. That's once again gonna be a pretty difficult spot to be. And Amanda having to go for the patent pending. She's made only about 15 meters of progress there. So still a very difficult par. Keiti kind of pulling that one also. And once again gonna be a very difficult par. Looks like Silva has to wait for a long time to get the throw. As Amanda unfortunately finds one more tree on the left side. Silva here, this is the perfect position. She might even be trying to go through the left side woods. Or the right side woods. She's actually not, and that is one of the best backhand approaches I've seen on this green. I believe she might even be inside the circle there. Or just on the edge. Keiti is gonna show us a forehand here, which is the ideal shot for the green. Does not quite get the angle there, unfortunately. Let's see if Amanda does a better job, and she does. Perfect forehand there. Stopping the bleeding on this hole. Gonna have a short putt for the bogey. And Heidi, what a beautiful kick out of the first tree. Wow, she hit the first tree right in front of her. Still somehow got inside the circle. And Keiti here with a long run. Just putting it under the basket. But Silva here for the birdie. Unfortunate miss there, just pulls it a little bit to the right. I believe this is Heidi for par. also pulls it to the right. This was a pretty difficult playing hole. It was actually the second most difficult hole, playing just under a stroke above par in average. And the hole was actually never birdied by the field in round 1. So, for example, Silva there, not losing any strokes to anybody on the field with a par. Heidi also, and the other players not gonna be losing that many strokes. As we see, 3 bogeys and 1 par. Silva with a very commanding start compared to the rest of the card. Moving on to another, this time a much longer hole. This is par 5. 223 meters, a pretty open, yet still a little bit wooded hole. This hole, it's all about getting good distance on your first 2 shots without cutting off your angle. On the first one you just have to go straight off the tee, and on your second you would like to go as far right towards the basket, hopefully without turning it over to the right side of woods though. Anything on the fairway is good. The fairway being pretty wide on the first shot and getting a little bit more narrow on the second. You can see Silva here possibly making a pretty critical error of turning it over to the right. That might be cutting off her angle for the second shot. If you had to choose, you would rather probably fade to the left on the first shot or just stay perfectly straight, as we see Amanda throwing a beautiful line there perfectly down the fairway. And Heidi's really gonna have some distance advantage on this hole, as she's possibly the furthest throwing player in the field. You can see she has also turned it over a little bit, but looks like she stays on the edge. Both Silva and Heidi are gonna be a little bit cut down on that right side of the fairway. And Keiti here, fading more towards the left, which is good for the angle. Gonna have a bit more distance to the green, but the angle is better from here. Just needs to stay on the fairway or on the left side of it. It looks like she has done it. That is just a fine shot from there. Still good distance left to the basket, so gonna take a big shot to get there. And you can see Silva had some trees to contend with, but nothing too bad, able to throw a pretty good turnover. And Heidi here, having to go with a forehand. Very aggressive, tight line there, but gets through everything, and she's in the middle. Amanda here, by far the best drive of the group. She's kind of faded out towards the left on the second shot. The left side is way better than the right, so that's a good miss. Oh, and Silva hitting one of the first trees available. Gonna have to throw a good approach to get the par. And Heidi here from about 75 meters, I would say. Good looking shot. She's gonna have an inside the circle putt at this basket that is one of the most difficult basket positions on the entire course. Might even be the most difficult, as the green is sloping on both the right side and the long side of this basket. It's very rocky. You see a lot of rollaways, a lot of weird skips under the basket. As Silva takes arguably one of those, a weird skip, but towards the basket. So she's gonna have a pretty simple par 5 on this one. Amanda there trying to approach for the birdie, not quite doing it though. Likely gonna have to lay up from here. Which is a smart play. There's really no sense in running the putt from circle 2 in this hole. Let's see if Keiti is feeling aggressive. No. But Heidi here This is a scary putt. And she gets it. Well done for the birdie there. Very good stroke. Perfectly in the middle. This was another pretty rarely birdied hole. Actually, as we saw Heidi making that good putt from 6 meters, Heidi was actually the only birdie in the entire field, which is a little bit surprising as we saw all of these players had a chance for the birdie, just left their approach a little bit far away. But Heidi there getting strokes on everybody. Moving on to another pretty difficult hole. A difficult hole to birdie, but a relatively easy hole to par. Hole 7, slightly uphill, 108 meters. This is another blind hole. You can't see the basket from the tee because there's this bit of an uphill slope just after the tee pad, flattening out towards the basket. Playing very far, 108 meters, probably playing closer to 120. It's a turnover shape. These players are looking to crush it with an understable driver, get the turn, and hopefully fade back at the end. Heidi doing most of that very well, but just missing the fading back part. So she's gonna have not a lot of distance to the basket, probably within circle 2. But no birdie putt from there. As Silva is just barely missing it to the right. You have a couple of those trees in the middle of the fairway that you have to choose whether you want to go left off or right off. Most players are going left. Amanda also going left, not just quite getting the turnover. So she's gonna have some trees to contend with. Keiti here, going with very nice angle. A little bit short. If she was just 2 meters longer, she would have got that skip off the wood chips and been probably within circle 1. Now she's gonna have to likely have a long run or just a layup, as we saw Silva there. Even with hitting some of those trees, it's a pretty simple approach. And Amanda here, I thought she was giving it a run, but not quite there. Keiti still further out than Heidi. Let's see. She also just puts it under the basket. No surprises here on this one. It's parred by a very high percentage. 81% off the field getting a par. And Heidi has to make a great putt now to be part of that 81%. From edge of the circle. And she makes it. What a great putt there. And an important one. It's not a hole you want to take the bogey on. Although on this one there was actually 0 birdies throughout the day. Keiti there. I've noticed that Keiti is going for this turbo, kind of a unconventional, spin turbo, just flipping the disc to the basket, possibly trying to remove some of the putting nerves from close distance that she has sometimes had, and working out pretty well. Very unconventional style. Moving on to a shorter hole. One of the shortest holes on the entire course, hole 8, only 71 meters. It's a short hole, but it's a very precise hole. You have a relatively tight gap off the tee. Best shot for this hole is a slight Anheuser flex shot with a bit of an overstable disc. But also, if you're comfortable with playing it a little bit tighter, you can just go for a straight shot or even a slight Heiser flip. The ceiling is pretty low too, so important to not throw your disc too high. As we see Heidi there, just pulling it to the right. Not the result you want. It's gonna be a difficult par from there on one of the easier holes on the course. Silva there on the left side. Let's see if Amanda can get it right. Not quite. Nobody really hitting the fairway here. Surprisingly, as I said, it's one of the easier. It's actually the 4th easiest hole on the course. Averaging right around par. Keiti here. Really good looking shot. Needs some fade back here. And she gets a kick. She's in the bullseye there. What a great throw. Likely gonna take a stroke on the entire card. Or even more, since not everybody has an easy approach here. Amanda having to go with a forehand Anheuser and catches the last guardian on the left. And that is gonna be a difficult putt for the par for her. And Heidi here, not even considering trying to get through the trees for the par, just laying up for the bogey. Silva there, putting it under the basket. Or maybe Heidi still has a chance to make it from here. She's got around 20 meters left. Let's see if she can give it a good run here. Not exactly a hole you would like to bogey, as 2/3 of the field are getting either a par or a birdie on this one. Amanda there just missing as well. Keiti will still have to wait to get to her disc to tap in that great birdie on this one. It was birdied by 25% of the field. So this card playing it pretty much as an average card on the field. Only now will Keiti come down here and make that signature turbo tap in. Good birdie there. Pushing his round score back to even par. That's a decent start. Moving on to another short hole, hole 9. Playing as an island, only 79 meters, but you have to hit this island off the tee unless you want to proceed to the drop zone with an extra stroke. It's a pretty big island, way bigger than the circle, for example. It's almost 15 meters on many sides. OB not coming into play inside the circle on any side. So should be very hittable. And Keiti here just throwing it a little bit hard on the left side, flying over the left side of the island. She's gonna have to take that drop zone putt from around 17 meters. Let's see Silva here. Silva's usually pretty good at these shots. Looks like she's turned it over just a little bit, hitting the last tree inside of the island, but stays safe. Fortunate break there, since sometimes you can see people hitting that tree and bouncing OB. You can see Heidi is going around the outside of it. Perfect shot. inside the bullseye. Great distance control. What a shot. And Amanda here going for a hyzer route. Usually not seen on this one, but you can see she hit something early and gonna have to proceed to the drop zone as well. It's a pretty polarizing hole. Usually you see a lot of birdies if people hit the island, and also a lot of bogeys if they don't. As you can see, the drop zone putt is very difficult. Silva here for the birdie, not quite. You can't really expect those putts to go in, but with Silva you almost kind of do from edge of the circle. As looks like Heidi is gonna have the only birdie of the card. Silva gonna tap in for the par, and the rest of the card gonna have bogeys. It's a hole that the bogey kinda stings on, even though a lot of the field did. 44% of the field did get a bogey or worse. But as it's pretty short and the island is pretty big, you would not like to miss it. That is going to be it for the front 9. Thank you guys for watching. Taking a look at the top 10. Silva Saarinen with that hot start, keeping the first position in the tournament through the front 9. Ella Taylor, second, with also going under par. Just after that, even par finishes. Heidi, Laine, and Ida Emilia Nesse, very promising player, finalizing the top 3. A lot of players in position to make some moves down this back 9. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the coverage, please subscribe, like and comment. And if you're feeling super supportive, you can even join the Patreon, giving some financial support for the MDG guys. They're doing a lot of good work. My name was Elias Luukkonen, and see you guys on the back 9.